What's up guys, so today we're going to be doing some angle mods to the R32. We've got a couple small parts here that's going to hopefully greatly increase the amount of lock we have. I don't really need it, didn't really feel the need to have it, especially at the last drift event. I only hit full lock maybe a couple times. Oh yeah! But it's just there for extra safety. The front tie rods are pretty worn and old anyway, so I think it's about time to replace them, so let's get into it. But first I'm going to show you what full lock is on the completely stock setup first. That way we can have something to judge it off of later down the road. Alright, so here is full lock on a completely stock R32 setup. As you can see here, it's pretty weak. Surprisingly though, it doesn't need much on this car. You know, on stock power, you don't really get close to lock in second gear. You don't really have enough power to get it all the way out there. You do, but it's only for a couple seconds maybe. The wheel is a 17x9 plus 30. It's an R33 GTR wheel on a 235/40/17 Zestino Gretsch. So far, I really like the tire. I don't think I ever showed you guys. I actually put these on literally just like a week ago, right before that first drift event. I didn't feel like making a whole video about putting two tires on. But from now, I'm going to actually tape some lines, and then we'll be able to judge how much more angle we got than stock. It'll be better than just a visual representation. I'll actually have some, some proof that we actually have more lock. But yeah, we're going to start jacking up the car, pull the stock tie rods and tie rod ends off. Actually, I haven't even shown you guys what parts I've got for it, so I'll show you those now. Alright, so this is what I've got here. I've got ISR tie rod ends, ISR inner tie rods. Here's a complete setup here. Don't mind that washer, just put it on there real quick. But as you can see, pretty beefy inner. And then outer, of course, this has a lot more adjustment than the stock one. Also has kind of like a bump steer correction. It basically like lowers the tie rod for lowered vehicles to keep the suspension geometry the same. And I also have some Gktech rack spacers, which I'll show you here in a second. Basically, these thread onto here. Maybe I can get that started. Alright, so as I thread this on here, all the way. Okay, so here would be the complete setup on the car. Basically, the rack spacer is going to go in between the rack and the inner tie rod here. This is so some people run just spacers. You can run just spacers as well. It won't give you as much lock as this, but where it gets important is that the larger spacer you run, say if you want to run a spacer this wide, you actually run less threads on the rack. So obviously you want to run as many threads as possible in your rack and pinion, so that it's as safe as possible, and you don't risk first of all stripping your threads out of your rack, stripping the threads off the inner tie rod, and most importantly your tie rod coming off while you're driving or drifting. So Gktech supplies this piece here, which goes in your left hand side of your rack, and then on the opposite side, on the other inner tie rod, you run one single washer. So they're claiming 19 millimeters of total lock, which I'll convert that to standard US stuff when we get to it, but we'll see. Hopefully it gives me full lock, so let's get into it. Alright, so the car's jacked up here. First probably step is going to be breaking the inner tie rod loose. Just getting all this old crap out of here first. Pretty cool thing I thought about R32s is they have this like factory vented dust shield. I don't know, figured that would rot away over here if it was in Ohio, so pretty cool that still exists and still has like holes in it. Excuse me. Yeah, so we're gonna break that inner tie rod loose, get this outer off. I'm gonna try and keep this in one piece so I can try and like guess how close my alignment is. It probably won't be very close though, because the spacer is gonna take up space, so I'm gonna have to shorten the tie rod to make up for that. Alright guys, so I just got done removing the tie rod. See here, the knuckle is free. Hopefully we can get some angle like that. That'd be dope, but we probably won't. I've also done the other side already off camera. You guys don't need to see everything twice. I think it's not needed. Pretty smooth actually. A lot easier than I thought it would be. I figured these would be pretty frozen, but this is a lower mileage car. It's pretty clean, so not too worried about it. So next, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to install the rack spacers and set those up. You're supposed to Loctite them, I guess, but we'll see. I may try and reuse one of those, like the things that you're supposed to bend down so it physically can't move. I think you can use one on it. I'm not sure though, we'll figure it out. So Gktech recommends that you install this on the left-hand side of your car. So on my car, it would be the passenger side. On a US car like a 240, this would be the driver's side. So this should just thread right in to the rack and sit flush. And then I may not be able to use one of those bendy things on it, but we'll see. I'm gonna throw it in the rack and see where we're at. Alright, so as you can see here, I've got this on the correct side finally. Everything looked pretty good. Next I'm going to show you guys how to center your rack again, because you've added 13 millimeters with this and then another 6 with the washer on the other side. So your rack is actually going to be off a little bit, so I'm going to have to recenter it. It's not that hard, so I'll show you right now. Alright guys, so recenter your rack. Basically what you're going to do here is you can pick a random spot, but basically go all the way one direction. Actually, let's go the other direction first. Alright, so you're going to go all the way to the right, let's say, and then you're basically just going to count the turns all the way to full lock the opposite direction, and then you're just going to divide that in half so you can put it right in the middle. So I'm going to use this Momo symbol here, so it kind of looks like an arrow already, so we'll use this side as 1, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, and almost 3.5. It looks like maybe like 3 1/4. So half of 3 1/4 would be, I don't know, let's say a 3.5. Half of 3.5 would be, I don't want to get it wrong, 1.75. So 1.75 turns back. So let me see here if I can get it right. It'd be like right here. So that's like right in the middle of the rack. So then you leave it there, put all your crap on your tie rods, adjust it accordingly. And then what I would do, honestly, is just take your steering wheel off, put it on the right direction, and put it back on. I think it's probably the easiest method. But yeah, that's basically how you center your steering rack. Obviously, everyone's is going to be different. S13s are a little different. I believe it's only 3 turns, so you just do 1.5, so that's pretty easy to remember. So it'd just be like 1 there, 1.5. Alright, so I've got my ISR tie rod, inner tie rod. They actually, I don't know where I put it. Oh, here it is. They actually supplied their own washer as well, so you can run just washers if you want. When I was moving the rack around, a little bit of power steering fluid leaked out. It's no big deal. I didn't have that seal on there, so that's my fault. But now I'm ready to throw the inner tie rod in. And I'm just going to guess, of course, until I get it down on the ground what my toe is. But should be pretty simple from here on out, hopefully. Alright guys, so fast forward about, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. I've got the spacer on, I've got the tie rod on, I've got the, nothing's really tight yet, but if you look here, it's got some toe in, and then this side has some, this one's actually pretty good, but if you look, I'm actually maxed out here. So on Gktech's website, they said some tie rods will need to be ground down. This is obviously depending on your setup. If I had extended lower control arms, I might be able to have enough thread. I might not end up using a lot of thread, so I may not have to touch it. But as you can see on this side as well, it's also maxed out. So this is like as close as I get it to. I'm gonna have to I'm bet you I'm gonna take both ends off and grind both of them, so I don't have to grind this one a lot. But that should be able to, because I want to run a little bit toe out actually, for drifting, I think. I'm not really sure of my setup yet or what kind of alignment I need or want. What else? So I think I'm gonna have to take these rods off and grind them. I'll probably do that off camera. Alright, intermission is over. Let me see here, I got the wheel on. Maybe I can get this, oh man. Okay, so you guys can see this here. Basically, I trimmed that tie rod down pretty far, about 1 inch total. I was gonna take a half inch of 13 millimeters, which is what the Gktech rack spacer is, but I ended up taking off a little bit more. That's about it. Set the tie rod on. That side's actually not tight yet. This side, I just gotta put the boot on, and everything up here is tight, which I just realized I have to take all that stuff off to get the boot on. I may not run a boot for a while, I don't know. We'll see, just so I can watch how the Gktech rack spacers, if they loosen or not. So, but anyways, I'm gonna finish this up, and then I'll be able to show you guys how much angle I have. For the alignment right now, I'm just going to eyeball it. Hopefully sometime this week, I'm going to go get a real alignment, because I do have a track event this weekend. Alright guys, so the car is back on the ground. I'm going to show you how much angle it has. It doesn't look like a crazy amount, but you can feel it. If you drive a car without angle and then drive this car, it's a pretty big difference. I even noticed like full lock and then you just try and back up, you can feel the car like actually has like a decent like curve to it. It's almost kind of like weird feeling. It feels almost like you're on a forklift. But I'm gonna start it up and turn the wheel all the way so you guys can see how much angle it's got. Alright, so as you can see, obviously, I think I have the other clip like from this angle. Tons more angle, especially like from like the angle where I was running it from. It has like has so much more angle. Like it doesn't look like a lot. Obviously, this isn't like FD spec or anything crazy, but this should be plenty for this season, even beyond. I don't really plan on getting modern knuckles unless my skill level, I would say, meets modern knuckles. I don't think we're there yet, so I'm really happy with them. Obviously, I need an alignment. I just kind of guessed. The Ackerman as well, which I'll get into another video about. Basically, it means like this wheel isn't as angled as much as this wheel. It's kind of like an R32 problem I've kind of heard about. Whatever, I mean, some people like it, some people don't. I don't really know yet because I haven't drifted on it, but hopefully this weekend it'll go pretty smooth. So probably drive around the block off camera and try and like get the alignment somewhat close so my steering wheel's somewhat straight, just like cruise around on it. One thing I don't like though is that these tires are a super low tread wear. It's like a 240 tread wear, so they're like wearing out super quick. You can actually see the like, see if I can get to the focus. So you can see it's actually like almost like a racing slick kind of scrubbiness to it when it gets like a little bit used. But overall, I'm like super happy with these tires. So much grip, almost too much. I don't know if the grip level meets the how long they last, but we'll see how long they last all summer. I'll keep you guys updated on those. But that's basically it, guys. I mean, there's really nothing to it. It's a really simple mod. I think all in total it was like 30 bucks. Of course, I'll link the parts in the description like always. For like 30-40 bucks, I mean, you can't beat that much angle. You just can't. So model knuckles, if you actually buy model knuckles, are extremely expensive. But overall, just super happy with it. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Really appreciate it.